Welcome in here, ladies and gentlemen, tonight to the Dover International Speedway. Live look in here at our studio, live above the Dover Downs International Speedway, virtually. We got Al Smith, the boss man, here, back in action here with the RB Custom Rig Scrambler Series, coming to you live from our South Glen Falls, New York studio. And, of course, myself, Roger Muth, bringing you all the live action here for the Red Light Scrambler Series, live from our Pennsylvania location. Race fans, the Dover International Speedway is very special to a lot of folks. It was a horse track racetrack facility at one point in its history when it opened. The horse track is still open to the inside of the Dover International Speedway, but to the outside here of the Dover International Speedway, where it is concrete, is where the horses will play here tonight. The Red Light Scrambler Series here, presented by RB Custom Rigs tonight for your Support the Local Businesses 100. Al, I turn to you as you are the driver here in this situation. Me, myself, I'm just up here calling the left-hand turns. This concrete 1 mile track here in Dover can play very tricky to kind of battle. Miles the Monster always reaching out of turn 4 and turn 2 to grab these machines.
It definitely can be. The corners come up off very quickly. And the one thing you're going to have to watch out for is the degree of banking. It almost floats down into the corner and your car just slams. Early in a run, if your tire pressure's low, are you going to be bottoming them out? These drivers are going to be faced with a lot of adversity here tonight. And not only that, it's the start of the playoffs.
Yeah, you talk about the playoffs. Let's quickly talk about some of these drivers that are in the playoffs this season. Right now, the hot shoe really comes in with Sean Butler and Max Terriol. Those two drivers have multiple wins this season. DJ Anderson, he has a win. Tim Blum, James Heater, Zach Mitchell, Richard Murdoch, and James Skelton. Those drivers all have picked up wins throughout the season, which got them right here into the playoffs. Other drivers like Ryan O'Donnell, Kyle Souza, both the Stranos, Joe and Tony, and of course, Michael Trevarthen and Ethan Troutman. That is 14 drivers this year that have made it into the postseason, the playoffs here, whether it was by virtual of winning or just making it in by points. So 14 drivers will try to battle to get themselves into the next round of the playoffs. That round, we will only take 8. So we're going to go from 14 to 8, practically cutting this field in half. Al, I don't know about you, but this look here live in at the Dover International Speedway as we bring you back to the live pictures at Dover, race fans. This facility is absolutely beautiful. We will find out which one of these 14 drivers, though, will be able to conquer Miles the Monster. Right now, these drivers are in qualifying. I believe it was 24 drivers have found their way here to the Dover International Speedway, so it's going to be a lot of cars on a very hectic track. Al, we talk about this track all the time, especially right on the front straightaway, drop of the green flag. It can spell calamity from the drop of the green flag here, because when you get in a wreck, everything washes to the bottom and it just clogs the speedway.
Yeah, there's no missing the accident. If they're up high, you know they're going to slide down low if they're holding on to your brakes. So the big thing here is to kind of pay attention. Look past the hood pins, per se, to make sure you miss out on any of the wrecks. I expect the first few laps here, maybe the drivers will give a little bit of give and take, but as we get closer to the end of the Support the Local Business 100 here tonight at the Dover International Raceway, we are going to see that give and take, well, maybe become a little bit more take, especially with a win and you're on to the next round. As you were just talking, we're going to go from 14 to 8 in a matter of 2 races. So you got to get a very short playoff window here. You have to get good finishes in the first round to even think about going deeper into this playoff run.
And you will notice the drivers on our timing and scoring. That's going across the screen here, courtesy of Al Smith here, my co-host, doing a little bit of digging into the coding of our overlays. You will notice all the playoff drivers here tonight. 14 of them will tick across your timing and scoring in red. That's for all you race fans tuning in here tonight to figure out who is exactly in the playoffs and who is out of the playoffs. So we're keep track of that. We do notice that there is one glitch, that the driver of the 62 of Ethan Troutman right now is not showing red. We will clear that up for you race fans here in the upcoming races. But cool little feature for you. We're upgrading for all of you race fans, so no matter where you're tuning in from all around the country, all around the world, we welcome you in here tonight to the Turn 3 Racing Network with Smith, my co-host, and myself, Muth, here in the booth, bringing you all the action for the RB Custom Rig Scrambler Series tonight for the Support Your Local Businesses 100. playoff race number 1 here at Dover. Qualifying just about to be in the books, and it looks like Michael Trevarthen and Max Terriel right now are on the provisional front rows. I don't see any other driver right now looking to turn a lap currently. So those two drivers could be the top timed drivers here as qualifying will expire. So it will go to a handful of these drivers who are battling for a championship next round, I guess we should really say.
Spit it out, Roger. Spit it out.
One day we will get it, but now it's about that time, race fans, to go down to our starting lineup. Starting lineup here tonight brought to us by the Green Forest Tree Supply. You need new shrubs for around the house. You need new trees planted in the backyard. Head on over to the Green Forest Tree Supply and get your tree and shrubbery today. This is your Green Tree Forest Supply starting lineup. Starting on the front row, 2 championship contenders. Driving the number 31, it is Michael Trevarthen. To his outside, driving the number 42 out of Canada, it is Max Terriel. Starting in row number 2, driving the number 18, it is James Heater. Starting in the 4th position out of Ohio, driving the 88 of Sean Butler. Position number 5 tonight out of Florida, driving the hot sauce number 10, it is Tim Blum. Starting in the 6th position, driving the 64, it is Jason Wells. 7th tonight out of Carolina, South Carolina, that is the 86 of James Skelton. Driving the Full Throttle Racing Adventure in Pixels 01 of Richard Murdoch, he will roll off position number 8 tonight. Starting in the 9th position, driving for the Wheel Team 6B team, the 917 of Tim Combs. Starting right alongside him, the number 924 of Zach Mitchell.
Starting, where'd you leave off there, Roger?
I believe that was 11th.
11th. All right, sounds good. Starting in the 13th, this will be Ethan Troutman in car number 62. Brandon Mintel in car number 20. We'll roll off 14th. Starting on the inside of row number 8 will be the 84 of Christopher Rothrock. Outside of him, number 2 of Josh Buckley. Ryan O'Daney will start 17th in car number 98, and starting 5th in the car number 15 in the 18th spot will be Dustin Gainey. 19th, the one of our chase drivers, Tony Strano, will be starting 19th. Outside of him, the number 4 of Kyle Souza.
Starting 21st here tonight, driving the RB Custom Rigs Toyota, number 30, it is Justin Gann. Starting 22nd, it's the Higgins Hill Racing Checkered Flag Auto Supply, 941 of Rob Higgins. Starting in the 23rd position, it's the 59, starting in the 23rd position, it is Bruce Potter. Brian Phillips will roll a 39 off 24. 25th goes to the Aussie of Kevin O'Brien. Starting 26th, the Keystone Motorsports driver Donald Bennett. And starting 27th, to round out the Green Forestry Supply, it is the DraftTop.com, number 48 of Michael Bromley. That is your Green Forestry Supply starting lineup here tonight at the Dover International Speedway. We are getting ready to go green flag racing as the iRacing pace car does make the left-hand turn. It is officially off the speedway, and we will go green flag racing. We will race hard nose into turn number 1 here as the green flag is displayed. We are racing for the first round of the playoffs here at Dover for the Support Your Local Businesses 100.
Max Terriel going to jump out to the early race lead on the outside. He'll get around Trevarthen, but that bottom line is going to pull up even as they come off turn number 2. Down the backstretch for the first time. They head into turn number 3, and it's Trevarthen with the nose out in front.
Here comes that 42, though. He drives it way off into the corner. Max Terriel, though, the front nose not going to stick. Lap number 1 going to go on the books. It will be the 31 of Michael Trevarthen leading lap number 1. Sean Butler will take the Trust Me Vodka 88 right down into turn number 1 on the bottom. He goes underneath the 42 of Max Terriel. He will come out of turn 2, sailing now looking to try and run down the race leader, but it is still James Skelton running in the 6th position. He is right now cleared and into the 6th position. He was side by side there. That was with Richard Murdoch. Murdoch fading in the Adventure in Pixels 01 to the outside. He now will find a home. It looks like the top 10 has gone single file.
They have Butler right to the back bumper of Trevarthen and Carter. Looks like he's going to take a bit for the race lead. And he said, nope, I'm going to trust my vodka and hold into your number 2 spot. Back there a little bit deeper. It is Richard Murdoch. He's in front of number 24 of Zach Mitchell. And right behind them is car number 20 of Brandon Minto. He is home alongside the 914 of Sean Silver. That's the first side-by-side battle inside the top 10.
So right now 4 laps. This will be lap number 4 completed here in the books. It'll be Michael Trevorth and Sean Butler across the line, 1 and 2. Then it's going to be a little bit of a gap back to the number 3 position driver tonight. The number 42 will Max Terriol. A little bit deeper into the field, Ryan O'Donnell, though. Right there he is, the Ford 98 Mustang. Brand new paint scheme on the side of Ryan O'Donnell's machine, and he is right now battling for that 15th spot. He's hanging on right now. Christopher Rothrock is out in front of him. Then you got the Victory Junction, number 3 of Tony Strano. He is sitting back here into the 16th position. Battle inside the top 10, though. That looks like it is Zach Mitchell looking to the inside of Richard Murdoch. Murdoch said he had a good car that he was looking forward to seeing if he was going to be able to win this race here tonight at Dover. Right now, that 01 is backing up through the field. He is back to the 10th position.
Yeah, Murdoch on the outside of the speedway. He will pull down in front of the 43 of Joe Strano. That'll be the battle for 10th spot as Murdoch is your final car inside the top 10. No change up front as it is still Trevarthen and Butler, your 1-2 position. But back here, the racing is hot and heavy as everybody's starting to single file out. It's a long way to go here. 100 laps is a very long time, at least a 2-stop race here tonight, as I believe they're going to be at about 40 laps on a tank of fuel, but they'll be screaming for tires well before that.
Yeah, taking a peek a little bit deeper into the field right now. We're staring at the number 62. This is Ethan Troutman, one of those championship contenders that we talked about. He's back here into the 17th spot. He has rear end damage to that number 62 body armor machine. Al, rear end damage here. Spoiler a little bit pushed in on this 62 Ford Mustang. Will that affect his car? We can tell you that the damage came from the number 15 of Dustin Gainey. He's got nose damage as Troutman now has rear end damage.
It really depends on about where that damage is and how it's affecting us. He goes underneath the 3 of Strano, moving him up to the 16th position. I think it'll definitely hamper his position, or forward progress. But the way where it's pushed in is it seems to be a center punch, so I don't think it'll hurt him too bad. Maybe give him a little bit more downforce as they work through the field, but definitely don't want damage on any of these cars, and especially not our championship combatants here as they race here around the Dover International Raceway. It doesn't seem to slow them down, running the competitive lap times back here in the 16th position.
Inside the top 10, Zach Mitchell right now doing a little bit of a jig with Tim Combs. Combs going to go to the outside, 2 of those Oreo-sponsored machines getting attacked now. Here comes the Adventure in Pixels, one of Richard Murdoch. He's trying to go forward a little bit here with his Chevrolet, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to drive underneath Tim Combs. So Combs, for the time being, will hold on to position number 9. Murdoch has fallen 2 positions. He is the biggest dropper in the bucket here tonight. He is back to the 10th spot. Right now, I'm sure that's not where he wants to be. Joe Strano just behind him in the number 43. He is running in the 11th position. Right there, you see down the back straightaway, everybody single filed out here on lap number 12. And right now, Al, these tires for these drivers are probably starting to get a little bit worn down.
Yeah, they're going to start getting worn down. We're going to see who is really pushing it early on as we are working lap number 13. As they work around the speedway, Buckley starting to put the pressure to the 98-year-old Danny back there. They battle it out for your 16th position. Right behind them, Justin Gann in car number 30. Is now it'll be Buckley underneath Danny in the turn number 3.
That's the DraftTop.com number 2 of Josh Buckley, hot off his experience at the Thompson Raceway. Oh, Ryan O'Donnell hard into the outside wall there, coming out of turn number 4. Boy, that was a lick, Al, and it looks like Buckley, his car got tight on exit 2, so both those drivers making very hard contact here with Miles the Monster.
Yeah, we talked about that early on in our pre-race show. How off the corner you didn't pick up the throttle too early. It's going to go straight up to the wall. As we see Buckley bounce off the wall. Now Gain going to work around the outside in his RB Custom Rigs. Car number 30, Supra. He'll move around the 2 of Buckley to move Gann up 5 positions from his starting spot as he runs in the 16th position. Got to start wondering, Roger, how much are these guys abusing the right side tires, or are they just riding around here? We see 2 veteran drivers already get bit by Miles off the corners.
Yeah, I don't know. Right now I'm thinking that the front 2, Trevarthen and Butler, they're definitely going ahead, and they are using the Mr. Feel-Goods here early. They're going to use them early and often, a lot of these drivers. And then you got the veteran of Max Terriot back here, who's running into the third spot. He is always the guy that is able to play cat and mouse with a lot of these drivers. I think he might be sitting back here, saving a little bit. And then you got James Heater, Tim Blum a little bit farther back here on our timing and scoring. You see them back here in the 4th and 5th position. I think these guys right now are also just kind of in their own little bit of a rhythm. They know it's an early here at Dover, and you don't want to abuse them too early. Now, guys like Richard Murdoch, we did see him falling through the field in the early stages. I don't know if Murdoch got some junk on the tires early on, which sent him to the outside, and now he just can't get his way back through. Caution flag onto the speedway.
Yeah, the 98 of Brian O'Danny has gone around. It looks, or excuse me, that was the 39 of Brian Phillips. So Phillips has gone around. Heavy right side damage to the right rear of his Camaro. The Louisiana barbecue sauce or hot sauce car is all torn up that time off of turn number 2.
Let's go ahead and take this time here. The Turn 3 Racing Network replay tonight here at Dover. The truck says it is queued, and you are watching the 38 of Brian Phillips here. Looks like the car gets extremely tight up off turn 2, slaps the outside wall out of 2, and then smashes the inside retaining wall. That car is tore up, both sides of that machine getting punched into the wall. You see the leaders have to kind of scurry down to the inside. Brian holds his 39 hot sauce machine to the outside fence there. That could have been pretty big, but you're going to see all your leaders come down here on pit road, and as they do, let's bring it back live, because here comes Michael Trevarthen. He will lead the entire field. It does not look like anybody at this point will stay out, so everybody coming to pit road. Al, 4 tires and fuel?
4 tires of fuel. This will probably put them to, at least in my calculations from early on, if it goes green to the end, we're going to see at least 1 round of live green flag stops. I imagine they're going to jam the Sunoco fuel into the fuel cells and put some Goodyear Racing Eagle tires on these race cars and get ready to go. As Trevarthen hits his box, came in as your race leader. We'll see how the pit crew handles the pressure here on pit road. Right side's down and around. He's around to the left side, going up. Let's see here. The first car to pull out will be Sean Butler, but easily Trevarthen's going to win the race off pit road. Max Terriot going to play a little cat and mouse off of pit road. He'll start on the inside line, the preferred line here at the Dover International Raceway.
So it will be Trevarthen, Butler, Terriot, Heater, and Blum, your top 5 drivers that do come out. Blimp camera here tonight, brought to us by the Checkered Flag Auto Supply, located in Ayer, Massachusetts. You need an air freshener, you need floor mats, you need to head on over to the Checkered Flag Auto Supply. They will get you all fixed up and ready to go. As we take a look there, there is the driver of the Checkered Flag Auto Supply, number 941. Now, I got some bad news passed along to me just right before we went live here that we actually didn't even get to talk about here. The driver of that 941, that is Rob Higgins. Yesterday, Mr. Higgins was working around the house helping out his parents, and he fell off the ladder, ended up in the emergency room yesterday. So it's a big, I'm going to say an uncomfortable feeling right now. This is not a real race car here at Dover, so you're not feeling the G-forces and you're not feeling the bumps, but still the wheel and sitting in your sim cockpit is very uncomfortable.
Yeah, depending on how you got it built, definitely uncomfortable, especially with the force feedback, depending on the injuries. I imagine he's a little bit bruised, so hopefully he'll have a speedy healing process there, the driver of the 941 of Rob Higgins, a great competitor out there. Checker Flag Auto Supply sponsored 941. So very, very sad to hear that happened, and well, glad that he's out here racing with us. But I don't know, kind of shows you the grit that these drivers have to race here week in, week out with the R&B Custom Rigs Scrambler series.
Yeah, it's just some bruises, and he's out here on track, just like this driver here that we bring your live look in here tonight, your Draft Top live look in. You're looking at the Barstool Sports, drafttop.com, Miller Lite Ford. That's the driver out of New Jersey. That is the Air Force pilot of Brandon Minto. Right now, Minto, last week missed out on making the playoffs, but he's here with a brand new attitude at Dover. He is claiming this as his new home track as he resides in New Jersey while he's active into the service. So right now, Minto is running 12th with that Air Force machine. That is your Draft Top, a live look-in camera. As there you see it, drinking the Miller Lite topless here while he's on camera. What more could you ask for, Al?
You can't ask for too much, you know. Brandon, great job out there, all the way up 2 spots from his starting position. And he's looking to get some more. at the start of this one here. Up to the start of 14th, rides in your 12th position. And I know he's going to be going for some more there, but have a sip for me, Brandon.
I'm sure he'll have more than a sip for you, Al. I'm sure he is going to have a sip for all of you race fans also tuning in here tonight. We do appreciate you tuning in here tonight to watch the RB Custom Rig Scrambler Series presented by Red Light Racing here tonight for the Support Your Local Businesses 100. It is round one of the playoffs here at Dover. Once we do leave Dover, we're headed to the big Auto Club Speedway located out there in Southern California. But first, we got to get through here with Miles the Monster. We've seen Miles already take a couple victims here tonight from these drivers. So let's see here. While the iRacing pace car does make its way to pit road, we will go back racing right here. It'll be just 22 laps out of the 100 completed. Still going to need at least one pit stop here tonight to make it the rest of the way from this point home. Green flag is back into the air, and we will race down into turn one. All 27 drivers still out onto the speedway.
Yeah, Butler with a nice start on the outside, but cannot clear the 31. And Trevarthen is still going door-to-door off of turn number 2. Here comes Carriot in the third spot, and he's bringing Tim Blum in that hot sauce number 10 down to turn number 3. It is still Butler working outside the speedway, but he's going to be able to get down. Maybe a little bit of a brake cut there by the 42 of Therio that sits there. Your top 3 go single file. The first car out of line is the pitcher in picture number 01. That is Richard Murdoch as he works the outside of Combs.
Yeah, you see them all coming into turn number 3. Murdoch still to the outside. That is Tim Combs to the inside. There's also Joe Strano right there in the Green Forest Tree Supply Chevrolet. He's trying to work into the 9th position. It would be the highest, but he's not going to be able to do it. Murdoch going to slam the door. Now it's going to be Brandon Minto trying to work over the RB Custom Rig, number 30. Minto down onto the apron there for a second. And who is that? That is Michael Bromley in the Roth Automotive, number 48, DraftTop.com Chevrolet. He is actually the biggest mover through the field right now. Michael Bromley is up to P number 14 with that Roth Automotive out of Holland, Ohio. He is the biggest mover out, 13 spots in the 14th right now.
Yeah, you take a peek right there on the inside of the 924. Mitchell couldn't do anything with him right there, so he tucks that back in line, but up 13 positions and looking for more as he takes a peek once again underneath Mitchell. Mitchell will slam the door off of turn number 4. You got to start wondering, is it too early to be pushing the tires that hard, especially if we get a long green flag run? He touches the apron that time for turns 1 and 2. Loses a little bit of ground to Mitchell, this time off turn 2.
Looks like Wells right now was trying to attack the Z-Line number 18 of Heater, but he was not able to do anything with his Alienware machine, so he goes back single file. It is still Trevarthen, Butler, Terriel, your top 3 drivers. That is how we started pretty much since lap number 2, and they have just continued to run 1, 2, and 3. Tim Blum, though, has snuck up into the battle here. He is right there with his Classics Hot Sauce number 10 as we continue here on lap number 28. Minto back there. I just caught a picture out of my eye here, Al. He is still throwing back the topless the beers here tonight, so he's in a pretty solid place right now, right in front of Michael Bromley, right behind Justin Gann, and in front of a couple of these playoff drivers also, like Strano. Tony Strano is a little bit farther back here tonight. He is right now still trying to find a groove in his Victory Junction machine. He is sitting back here way into the 24th position as you take a live look in there. He's a little bit out of the picture frame there on the bottom left-hand corner here tonight in that live look in. He is not having the night. He is having the worst night of the playoff group.
He is. He's running back there in the 24th position. But how many times have we seen this out of Tony Strano in the last few years here at in the Scrambler series, and where he just kind of rides in the back for the first half of the race, and then it's like it's go time. I don't think he'll finish back there in the Victory Junction game number 3. I expect to see that car up towards the front towards the end of this one. Maybe just kind of riding it out right now, trying to miss the big one if that happens, as we've got Rothrock going underneath. I believe that was Rothrock. That was the 15, excuse me, of Dustin Gainey. Again, underneath O'Danny, and O'Danny still on the outside, got the outside fence that time, as the number 4 of Souza will go by. So another playoff driver back there, out just inside the top 20 now. The driver, the number 4 of Souza, not having a great run here tonight early on, but we are not even quite the halfway, about 15 laps shy of that.
Yeah, Ryan O'Danny made it into the playoffs as we take our look in with the driver out of Michigan. Ryan made it in by 1 point, Al. He was the final driver to make it into the championship hunt here this season. And for him to be back here also in the 21st position, that's a little bit farther back than he would like to be. But he has a lot of damage right now on the right front of the Maui Jim Ford Mustang here. We're going to take and keep a close eye on him also, as here comes now, there goes Rob Higgins. He'll go to the inside of Ryan O'Danny, and now here will come the number 3 of Strano. Tony Strano will look to also now pick up a position. That'll knock Ryan back to 23rd. That'll put Tony Strano up into 22nd. So every spot is going to be factors here for these two drivers who are a little bit buried into the field.
Yeah, and they're back there. Just right. We know O'Danny. You gotta wonder how much damage was done when he got the outside wall off turn number 4. And I'm not saying he kissed it. I mean, Miles took a big bite out of the side of that number 98. So that car has to be wounded as they work around the speedway. Just watching the battle here, Michael Bromley has slid back to the 17th position. Looks like the front end washing up off the corner on his number 48 right now, Roger. You gotta wonder, did he go too hard at the beginning of this run, as we are now just a little bit into this run. They all pivoted back to lap 19. So we're about 20 laps into this run on this set of tires. So I wonder if he went a little bit hard too early with that number 48.
Yeah, you never know. Michael Bromley, somebody up into the outside wall. That was the driver out of Massachusetts. That is the 914. That was Single. Single took that Ford Mustang, and it just smoked the wall. We'll see how much damage, if we can get a camera angle panned onto that 914. I'm looking at that right front. It doesn't look too bad. It's right behind him. They are battling Troutman, trying to get around Rothrock. That's the battle for the 15th position. And Bromley also up the track. There goes 2 underneath him. Gainey, Buckley, and now here it comes. That is, I believe, the number 4 of Kyle Souza. That will also take along that position. So now Bromley was up 14 spots. Now he's back all the way to the 20th position.
Yeah, one driver that's not to move is number 30 of Justin Gann. He's up 13 positions right now. So he takes that big mover right now. He runs in the 8th position as Mac Theriot just gets by Trevarthen. Trevarthen, your race leader, all the way back to 4th, and now your new race leader is Sean Butler. So the lead pass here on the race turn, new race leader, as we hit lap number 40.
Yeah, coming to get lap number 40. It'll be the first new leader here of the evening. Trevarthen getting told that he slipped going down into turn number 1, opened up the inside gap, and with drivers like Butler, Theriot, Blum behind you, you can't make those kind of mistakes, and they just pounced on him immediately. That's why now you see the Halloween number 31 sitting back into the 6th spot, right in front of Jason Wells. Wells this season has had himself a good, solid season. He is, almost big issues there. The 10 of Tim Blum going underneath the 39 of Phillips. Phillips got a little bit loose off of turn number 4. Blum, Skelton, Heater, Trevarthen, they all had to take evasive action. They all had to go almost to touch the inside guardrail to avoid wrecking here on the front straightaway.
Yeah, caught the 39 of Phillips at the wrong time, which is really hard to do on corner exit. Really checked them up, as now your top 2 have broken away from Tim Blum, who runs in your 3rd position. Skelton in that car number 86 runs in 4th, and James Heater rounding out your top 5 as the fieldwork runner Justin Gann has gotten around the 64 of Wells. So Gann up another spot into your 7th position is now Blum, Skelton, and Heater all trying to close in on your race leaders. They work around, and it looks like the 13 of Donald Van Bennett. They work down in the turn number 1.
Yeah, it looks like Bennett's been into the outside wall with his Turn 3 Racing Network machine. This is a close-to-home race for Donald Bennett, who resides up there just a little north, about 2 hours north of the Dover International Speedway. Donald residing out of Topton, Pennsylvania. So right now, Bennett is 1 lap down currently on the timing and scoring. He is shown 26th position. That'll put Bruce Potter onto the hot seat. There you see the breast cancer awareness, number 59 of Bruce Potter. He would be the next machine onto that bump or that bubble, and it's about, well, not very far. As let's take a look back here. Can't quite see it just yet, but it is a straightaway distance between Potter and your race leaders. There is 88 of Sean Butler coming out of turn 4, as Butler just went down into turn number 1. So he would be the next victim, and then it would be Kevin O'Brien. Ryan O'Donnell still out here, and it looks like here comes Kevin O'Brien. He will look to the inside of Ryan O'Donnell, and that'll now put Ryan back to 24th. He is sliding the wrong direction here. Al's, oh, contact. Kevin O'Brien into the outside wall. That's going to force O'Donnell down there to the inside, and now they go side by side into turn number 1. O'Brien way up the track into the marbles.
Yeah, able to hold off with the momentum on the outside of O'Donnell's car, not handling very well. Gotta imagine the wall touches. Max Theriault goes around Butler, change for your race lead off turn number 2. Theriault to the race lead, Butler.
Trevarthen into the outside wall also.
Yeah, he's scraped the right side. Just notice the paint on the Trust Me Vodka number 88. A little bit scraped up on the right side. So Theriault, now your race leader, our third lead change of the race, happening here just shy of the halfway point.
Well, that's not good for the driver out of Ohio. Missed a couple races this season, but still was able to win 2 of the events that he did compete in. It was you had to compete in over half the races in the first half of this season, win, and you could get in. Otherwise, you had to point your way in. Well, Sean Butler came out swinging, won the first race, and then he ended up coming back from his leave of absence when he had a family emergency, finished 3rd at the Charlotte Roval, and then won the next week at Martinsville. It's been maybe an unusual year for Sean Butler. It seems like it's been a checkers or wreckers kind of season. It's either he's finished on the podium or he's finished buried way back deep into the field, into the high 20s this season. Right now, he was running up into the number 1 spot when he tagged the outside wall coming out of the turn. Now he has fallen back to P number 2. Theriault's got around him. Blum still hunting him. Skelton right there, though. The animal, or I believe that's the Animal Hospital, the Flowertown Animal Hospital, number 86 here tonight of James Skelton. There you see him right on the back of the hot sauce, number 10 of Tim Blum. Then it is James Heater back there running in 5th. 6th is going to be Justin Gann, and then it's Jason Wells. And 7th, Michael Trevarthen, who led majority of the first half of this race. He has fallen back to the P number 8. 9th is Richard Murdoch, and then rounding out the top 10 here on lap number 50 will be Zach Mitchell, but it'll be Max Theriault leading at the halfway point home here tonight.
Yeah, this time by the cross flags from Barney the Flagman. Halfway in, halfway to go here is Skelton still trying to find a way around the number 10 of Blum. His car looks better the longer this run goes. Now, we are just about 30 laps into this run. I would expect within the next 5 to 10 laps, we're going to see green flag pit stops. And we didn't touch upon this in the pre-race show. This is probably one of the trickiest pit roads to get onto. It's in the middle of turns 3 and 4, and this track is very fast. You got to get slowed down, get onto the apron, and there's a lot of marbles building up on the bottom of this racetrack.
Yeah, who was it a couple years back into the NASCAR scene? I believe it was Matt Kenseth here who was trying to come to pit road and ended up in the water barriers there right at the entrance to pit road. So anything could happen. We've seen it in real life. We've seen it here on the virtual iRacing.com platform. Coming to pit road is some of the treacherous things that these iRacers are going to do here tonight, especially with the marbles, like you said, Al, the worn down tires, and also you just want to get to pit road as fast as you can. You don't want to lose any more spots than you need to, especially when Max Theriault is out there running away from a lot of these guys. But now think about it also, Al. They've been about 30 laps. You see a couple of them coming down, like Bruce Potter right now and Phillips. They will come to pit road. Your race leaders, though, like Max Theriault, Sean Butler, will they try to stretch it as far as they can as Tim Blum bounces it off the fence? If you can make it to about lap 60, Al, you can make it on one more stop.
Yeah, these guys got to make it to lap 60 if they want to make it one stop. Will we get another yellow flag? We had one early for a single car spin on the backstretch, but since then it's been clean and green. We've had a lot of close calls. How about this? The 86 has gone around Blum, now closing in on the 88 of Butler. It seems like Skelton saved his tires, Roger, and he's making a charge here towards the end of this run.
I also noticed that the 10 of Tim Blum actually hit the wall. That's what allowed Skelton to get around him. And now it looks like the 31 of Trevarthen once again up into the outside wall coming out of turn number 2. He will actually come to pit road right here on lap 55, coming to 56, and he blows through pit road. Trevarthen will miss pit road, and he will have to go back around. That's going to be a big mistake. That's one we didn't even talk about, missing pit road like you just saw there. For the 31 of Michael Trevarthen, Joe Strano, Tim Combs, Tony Strano, Rob Higgins, they all actually were able to get down to pit road speed and onto pit road. So 4 out of the 5 drivers that just tried to come out of your lead group made pit road. One of them has to go all the way back around, and that's going to be costly.
Yeah, it's going to be a costly mistake on the 31 of Trevarthen. His night going from bad to worse after getting into the wall. We'll see if he makes it on the pit road this time by. He does clean and cleanly. So tough break there for the last time by. As your race leader, Max Darrell, still stays out. He bypasses pit road. Gotta wonder, he's trying to make it to lap 60 on a tank of fuel. I think if possible, with the caution laps we had, they all pivot back on lap number 19. So I believe they can make it to at least 60, 61, which will make it a one-stop race on fumes. Not if we go into overtime.
Right, you always got to think about overtime. Overtime is in play here with the RB Custom Rigs, but Max Terriot says we're not going to need it. I'm going to run this pony till she is dry. So now working lap 58, pit road getting busy. Justin Gann down on pit road. Trevarthen's still there. Christopher Rothrock will bring down the Renaissance Nutrition, number 84. He's got a little bit of that Darlington stripe also on the right side of his 84. Will Terriot come this time? No, he will not. He will make it to lap number 60. How far, though, does he push it past lap 60 here tonight? He's working into lap traffic. Michael Bromley, who runs into the 16th position in his Roth Automotive. Number 48, he will be the next one on the chopping block for Max Terriot. Terriot will just turn down out of turn number 2, and he'll try it. Oh, they're going to go 3 wide into turn 3. They just split Ryan O'Donnell. Ryan's going to just jump straight out of the way. He is going to come to pit road with his 98 machine.
That could have been very costly for the driver of the Maxime number 42 Ford Mustang. What an aggressive move there, going 3 wide. He's put some distance between himself and our second place runner, James Skelton, who's got Tim Blum all over him. Because it looks like the Roth Automotive car, number 48 of Bromley, was going to go low, but your race leader. But now, here they come.
Skelton's going to miss pit road. James Skelton locks him up. He misses pit road with his 86 Toyota. He's got to go back out onto the track. That's the second time we've seen somebody blow through pit road. That's costly, especially for the championship contender of the 86.
Yeah, so now he has to get back up to speed and then get ready to come down pit road. Max Darrell backs it up. He's coming down pit road. He hits his marks, and he'll come down here at a very slow 35 miles an hour at the pit road speed. When you're out there going 160 plus miles an hour, you got to get down to pit road speed to go 35 miles an hour. This is probably one of the trickiest and toughest pit roads.
Sean Butler is out of gas, coasting down pit road. The Trust Me Vodka 88 now out of gas as he comes to a stop in his pit stall. The other year when we came here to Dover, he was one of the drivers that were able to save fuel more than anybody, shutting the car off to be able to park it in victory lane. Tonight, as the car is out of gas, the crew will refire that machine, but it may be just too late for Butler to make up that ground here with under 40 laps to go here tonight in the Support Your Local Business 100. Green Flag Pit Cycles working through. It'll be the RB Custom Rigs, number 30 of Justin Gann out of Virginia, now taking the race lead.
He did, and just to note there, they made lap 63. So these drivers just pitting Max Stereo and Tim Blum pitting on lap 61 and 62. So the 30, a little bit of older tires. He comes out and he's going to enjoy just about a 5-second lead over our second place car. But we're going to see how fast those tires are. Do you feel that having about 4 lap fresher tires for Blum and Theriot is going to make a difference at the end of this long run?
Yeah, Miles the Monster is not too friendly to tire, so Tim Blum and Max Theriot should be able to run back down Justin Gann. He only right now has about a 4.5-second lead over these two who are battling for the second spot. So it was Tim Blum being able to beat Max Theriot out of pit road, and the difference between that is that was just coming to pit road. That's all it was. Max was being very cautious coming onto pit road. He knows it's a very treacherous pit road, so that's why he just kind of backed it up and allowed that car to roll it into pit road. Tim Blum, we've seen it numerous times throughout the last couple of seasons. He is very aggressive getting on and off of pit road. That's what now leapfrogs him into the second position, and now it's under 4 seconds between Tim Blum to the race leader of Justin Gann.
Yeah, 4 seconds. That was almost 5 seconds just a time ago. So Gann definitely being held up, but he's in heavy lap traffic. He just worked around, I believe that was the 88 of Butler. So Butler went down a lap trying to get it back as he'll dive to the inside again, this time off of turn number 2. Gann's got to be very careful to stay out of that outside wall as he works down the backstretch.
And he will let the Trust Me Vodka 88 by. Now that'll put Ryan O'Donnell right behind him. Ryan currently running way back into the 25th position. It is not the night. Oh, Bruce Potter almost up into the wall, almost down into the race. Leader of Justin Gannon, almost taking Ryan O'Donnell along with him. Bruce Potter swings it high in his breast cancer awareness, number 58. He is currently running back into the 25th position. It's a night that he might want to forget also here at Dover. The car looks pretty clean, but I believe the crew just kind of missed the handle on that 59.
Yeah, he's way up the racetrack as now it looks like it was working underneath Potter was the 941 of Higgins. Higgins runs in our 20th position. We talked about his woes yesterday about their bruised and battered. He's got Tim Blum taking a peek to the inside. Blum is stretching his legs, trying to get up to Gann as fast as he can. 2.4 seconds this time at the line.
And that'll continue to be chewed down here for Tim Blum. Max Terriol is still sitting right here into the third position. Let's take you a walk down the rest of your top 10 here as they came out of pit road. You see your top 3 of Gann, Blum, and Terriol. Heater is sitting right now currently all by himself back here into the 4th position. It's been a quiet day for James Heater inside the top 5 since the drop of the green flag. He's been into the outside wall, though, with that Toyota. See if he can keep it now out of the fence with Miles and started reeling back in Max Terriol. Seems like all day the Alienware Logic Tech number 64 of Jason Wells. He has been sitting back here into the 5th position. It's a fast car. It just doesn't have the race-winning pace right now as the crew relays that message to me. We'll see if Wells can find a little bit of a better groove here and work his way farther inside the top 5.
Yeah, one spot out of the top 5 is the 43 of the Green Forest Tree Supply, number 43 of Joe Stranos. He's under attack by the 86 of Skelton. Skelton will get by the Flowerstown Pet Hospital. I believe that is the sponsor, and number 86 will get by. So that was a battle for 6. Skelton now has it. Joe Strano back to 7th. Running in 8th spot is the 914 of Sean Single. He runs in the 8th spot, up 3 spots from the start of his night gear. 1 spot behind him in the 9th spot is the 924 of Zach Mitchell, one of our playoff contenders, having a quiet night running there in the top 10. Hasn't fallen out of it all night long. You see he can enter, and our early race leader, the 31 of Michael Trevarthen, rounds out your top 10.
Yeah, the Metalhead Motorsports driver right now hoping that he can get this pony back up to full song and dance because he's back here into the 9th or 10th position. He has fallen 9 positions since he lost the race lead back to 10th right now. That is your top 10 rundown here after our first green flag pit cycle of the evening here for the RB Custom Rig Scrambler Series tonight here at the Dover International Speedway for the Support Your Local Businesses 100. It's the first race of the championship playoffs, and we are playoff racing with just 26 laps to go.
Yeah, 26 laps to go, and we got a new race leader. Tim Blum is taking the lead away from Justin Gann, and he's got Max Stereo all over the back bumper of that. Number 10 is now there. He'll take a peek down to the inside. He'll throw it to the inside. He evens up to the middle of 1 and 2. This is the bid for your race lead. And Stereo works the bottom of the racetrack. He has position. He's going to use the 15 of Gain as your pick. Doesn't need to. Is now Max Stereo takes over your race lead with 24 laps to go.
It'll be 24 laps to go, and the 42 back to the point here. 2 championship contenders battling for the race win here at Dover, because if you win, you advance. You will get yourself locked into the next round of the playoffs, and you won't have to worry about the super speedway per se style race that's coming just next week at the Auto Club Speedway, as the 42 of Terriot working to the inside of Dustin Gainey. He will pull side by side at the start finish line, and he should be able to make this pass down here in turns 1 and 2. Your race leader, though, Terriot, being hunted by Blum. He is not letting him go. Justin Gann, the tires have fallen now off the RB Custom Rigs. Number 30 of Gann, and he has fallen back to just running in third. I say just running in third. Take a look at your left-hand side of your screen right now and find how many spots, if we can get it pulled up for you here. There we have it now. Find how many positions your favorite driver has gained here tonight. There you see the 17 next to Justin Gann and the number 30. That means 17 spots gained. Take a look back here into the 17th position. That is Sean Butler. That is minus 13. So that pit stop, the running out of fuel for the 88, has put him well behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, the tough break for the driver that was up front early on. He runs in the 13th position. He is one of the last cars on the lead lap, just in front of your race leader was the 15 of Gainey. So he's gone down, I believe, one lap to there. So Sean Butler is the last car on the lead lap, praying for maybe a quick yellow to come out here with just 20 laps to go.
20 laps to go at this point. Race fans, we got to thank you all for tuning in here tonight to watch the RB Custom Rig Scrambler Series. You need a sim rig to get out here at the virtual Dover International Speedway. You need to head on over to RB Custom Rigs. You need to get your rig built. Well, if you're a wild one like we are here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, you need to get yourself a wild custom rig. Otherwise, we can make it from mild to wild. If you're a little bit on the budget side of things, there's a lot of budget iRacers out there these days that are competing at the top ranks in iRacing. Well, you don't want to come iRacing? That is fine, race fans. They have you covered over there. Rick will be able to build you a custom PC to go flight simming. That's right. They can get you that brand new PC to run Microsoft Flight Simulator. Al, you were just talking about going and playing that the other day.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna buy myself a linear jet air, and we'll be able to travel around here with the Scrambler series. And maybe I'll pick you up down in Pennsylvania. We'll fly out to these racetracks.
Well, that would be nice. We could have hopped in the car and drove to Dover and did this race tonight here, as Al is located in the upstate New York area, South Glen Falls, New York. I'm located here in Pennsylvania, down in Kutztown, Pennsylvania, bringing you all this live racing action. Race fans, we appreciate you all tuning in here tonight, but you were watching the RB Custom Rigs number 30 of Justin Gann. He just got passed up by Wells, and now here comes Skelton. So maybe the woes that we thought James Skelton was going to have here in the late stages of this race by missing pit road, he may have lost a couple spots, but fifth right now for the driver of the 86 out of South Carolina.
Yeah, he's working around the speedway, just getting past the number 30 again. Is now he'll set his sights on the 64 of Wells, who is just a half a second in front of him as they got the number 2 of Buckley in front of them as they work up off of turn number 2. Well, Danny right there in front of Buckley as the field is kind of spread out here in this long green flag run. This time by, there'll be 15 laps to go. That pay window starting to get greased up. And Max Stereo trying to punch his ticket into the round of 8.
What would it mean to not have to go to next week and worry? Because it is only 2 races per round here. This is the round of 12 here, the first race at Dover. It's the round of 12, cross it out, put 14, because 14 drivers did qualify this year, virtual of being locked in points or being able to win themselves a race. It was, if you win a race and you competed in over half the races, you were locked into the championship hunt. And the rest of the guys, the top 12, they were virtually locked in via points. So 2 drivers that did win, as we have 1 car around, I believe. That is Rob Higgins. He has crashed coming to pit road. He tries to back it up. He will now get to pit road. That's not going to bring... Yeah, that's not going to bring a caution out. It looks like he was just down on the apron. Let's watch it back. The truck says we have the incident here as you're watching the 941 checkered flag auto supply. 941 of Rob Higgins. You know, Higgins battling some back injuries right now, and you see him lock it up, and it looks like there's tire marks out going into the tire barrier. Somebody had already hit that tire barrier. Higgins backs it up on the speedway, and he's actually able to get down to pit road, but a costly time move there.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that the race director and Barney up in the flag stand did not throw the yellow flag for that as cars were passing by at the high rate of speed. Dangerous situation for the 940 of Rob Higgins. There is he's still down on pit road. Christopher Rothrock coming down now in the car number 184. So a lot of drivers are going to have to come down. They kind of came in a little bit late. Interesting to see, will the 42 need to pit? Will anybody behind them need to pit as they all came back a little bit later than these drivers, back 62, 61 lap range. With this time by, there'll be 10 laps to go.
Yeah, I'm being told Trevarthen missing his hood on the 31 machine. Possibly. Here it is. This is the replay. Michael Trevarthen coming to pit road. Al, we talked about the water barriers. Michael Trevarthen just found him in his 31, so his day goes from great running out front to bad to worse now.
Yeah, this is going to be one that he's going to want to have back as he works around the speedway now without the hood. That's going to be affecting the downforce on that Halloween number 31 as he'll work underneath the 88 of Butler. And that'll move Butler, though, up into the 11th position. So he missed pit road and he came back around, lost a lot of track position, but finds himself just one spot out of a top 10 right now. So a nice recovery for the driver of the 88. But Max Theriault still out front, wondering, will he have enough fuel in the tank to go 8 more circuits around the Dover International Raceway?
Well, what do you say we go ahead and grab the cockpit view here and take a lap around Dover and listen to it? You can hear it, Al. He is not letting up right now. Max Theriault is not in conserve mode. The pedal on the right side, it is mashed against the floorboards here tonight at Dover. Max, I believe, 6 more times around is going to go for it.
Yeah, he was one of the drivers that went the furthest in that last stint. He pitted on lap 62, so I believe he is going to be good to go. But he's also got a 2-second lead. He can back it up a little bit, get within a second in front of Tim Blum, and just to put a little bit more in reserve in case we do get that yellow flag, as he almost gets the outside wall, that time off of turn number 2. Max on the gas pedal really hard as he works through 1 and 2. He has opened it up now, 2.2 seconds over Tim Blum. How about this driver? You said he's having a quiet night. He finds himself in the 3rd position, Roger. That is James Heater in the Z-line, number 18. Up, started 3rd, runs in 3rd, and he's had a nice night here, a good way to start the 2020 Red Light Scrambler Series playoffs.
Yeah, right now your top 4 drivers are all in the championship hunt. Theriault, Blum, Heater, Skelton, and then it's going to be Wells. He is your first non-playoff driver. He's running 5th here tonight. Zach Mitchell, Richard Murdoch, they are in the playoffs. Then Justin Gann, Brandon Minto are not. And Sean Butler has rallied back into the 10th spot, just outside the top 10, still on the lead lap. The number 4, Kyle Souza, he is in the playoff hunt himself. So right now, just I believe that's 8 out of your top 10 or top 11 drivers are in the championship hunt. But this time by for Max Theriault, it will be the popsicle sticks in the air. 2 laps to go here tonight in the Support Your Local Businesses 100 at Dover.
Max running a perfect race there, used pick strategy and a pick with getting around the number 10 of Blum as he is set sail now, 2-second lead. He could coast from here. Final time through turns 3 and 4 as he'll get the white silk. The last lap of the Support Your Local Business 100 is underway for Max Theriault.
Yeah, it is 1 lap to go here, presented by the Checkered Flag Auto Supply. 1 more mile of racing here for Max Theriault at Dover. Will he be able to lock himself in to the next round of the playoffs? Just half a mile, and cars in front of him. That's the 30 of Gann. There's the 4 of Souza, but out of turn number 4, locking himself into the next round of the playoffs. It will be the driver of the 42 out of Canada, Max Theriault, will win at Dover.
Theriault will win. Tim Blum will come home in your number 2 spot. You gotta wonder, did Theriault run out of gas coming up off of turn number 4? Finishing 3rd will be James Heater. James Skelton with a nice rebound will finish 4th. And Jason Wells rounding out your top 5.
Take a look at the top of our timing and scoring tower and find where your favorite driver ran tonight. You'll notice all the playoff drivers in red here. As Max Theriault is able to win, he will now advance. He won't have to worry about going to Auto Club, to the per se super speedway style of racing. He will be able to just now relax. Tim Blum, though, he will still have to battle with James Heater and James Skelton. Wells finishes 5th here tonight. Let's see if Max is going to burn him down here. He is not going to need this Xfinity car for a handful of weeks till we go to the Atlanta Motor Speedway. All right, there is Max. And Al, he ran pretty much a perfect race. No issues for the driver of that 42 here tonight.
No, he ran a good race, ran inside the top 5 all night long, and he pounced when it was needed, and he was able to come home with the win. The driver of the number 42, and well, I bet you he's going to be pretty pumped up where he's going to be able to go out to California next week and not have to really worry about anything because he's going to be locked into that round of 8.
It's always good to know that. Well, we're going to step away real quick, and we'll be right back here on the Turn 3 Racing Network at the Dover International Speedway for the Support Your Local Business 100 post-race show tonight, brought to us by the fine folks over at Renaissance Nutrition. Welcome back here, race fans, to the Dover International Speedway for the post-race show, brought to us by the fine folks over at Renaissance Nutrition. Tonight, it was the first round of the playoffs, and we officially have run all 100 laps here tonight, and we are standing by with your race winner north of the border. Max, this is your third win of the season, I believe it is. If I take a look at the right notes here, this is your third win, and it will be great because you won't have to worry about going to Auto Club. You officially lock yourself in here tonight to the next round of the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a good feeling anytime I can get a win in the playoffs in the first race of the playoff rounds. It's always a bonus, and but I was looking forward to Auto Club anyways, so I still expect to run good there. And I mean, how about that? A one caution 100 lap race. That's something that we can all take, even on a tough track that Dover is.
Yeah, it was a tough night here. Dover, you're one of those drivers, one of those rare drivers that you say pretty much other than super speedways, you love to go to. Road courses, intermediates, 2-mile tracks, short tracks. You love to see them. What was the strategy coming in here tonight to try and advance into the next round?
Well, I wasn't thinking about next round already. For tonight, I had 3 points that I wanted to make sure that I would get right. I did not want to hit the wall at any point during the race. It's so easy off of 4. It gets tight, and you really have to hit the apex in turn 4 to avoid it. Not speeding on pit road, since it's only 35 miles per hour, it's easy to get caught speeding, and not miss pit entrance. And since we only had one green flag pit stop, it helped in that department. So overall, it went better than I could have ever asked for.
Well, Max, it was a solid night, a very clean Ford Mustang here tonight, who makes it all possible to race here on a Monday night with the Scrambler Series.
Yeah, usual people watching the race, my girlfriend, my friend Max at the Maxim Knitting, and my dad. And Josh, James, Richard for running the league. RB Custom Rigs for being on board for the second season in a row. And to the guys at Turn 3, you, Roger, and tonight's sponsor, Support Your Local Business. Shout out to them. And yeah, hopefully Tim and James also for the top 3 finish. I expected James Skelton to come back on the long run. Last night he was better than me on the long run, but maybe he got caught in traffic or something. So we'll go on to next week.
Well, there you heard it from your winner. He hails out of Canada, driving the MK Medic number 42 Ford Mustang here tonight. It wasn't all without danger for Max, as you see right there on our Turn 3 replay. He had to split 3 wide at one point with Michael Brownlee and Ryan O'Danny. He was able to do that tonight and bring home that 42 looking pristine. He goes to victory lane. He will go to Auto Club, knowing that he is officially locked into the next round of the playoffs. Your winner tonight for the Support Your Local Businesses 100, Max Terriol. Al, I believe standing down there, you have the second place machine tonight.
Yeah, we're down here on pit road, and Tim Blum, could you have done anything different to be one spot better than where you ended up here tonight at the Dover International Raceway?
Oh man, I don't know. Max had the field covered. I think he also mentioned James Skelton. I think he was going to have something if he had an issue getting on pit road there right in front of me. So Yeah, it was. I felt more like a fourth place car ride, to be honest. Sean and James were a little faster than me, it seemed like, and James Heater. So who knows? But just a clean race and a good old fashioned red light race tonight. One caution and long green flag runs, and you got your usual suspects up front.
Coming into tonight, you're running for the championship. You have a good solid night here, headed into California next week in the Cup car. But talk about tonight. How tricky was pit road? Roger and I talked during the broadcast about the marbles building up and where the entrance to pit road and how slow pit road is. You have to be very disciplined. Yourself and a few of the other drivers not having issues, but some of your competitors having issues. How tough was it for the people out there watching to get onto pit road?
It was real tough. Like Max said, that's a key to the race here. We weren't sure if it was going to be a lot of cautions. If there were a lot of cautions, then pit road entrance wouldn't have mattered. But since it was a long green flag race, you had to hit it right, and if you messed up, you're out of gas. I think that's what happened to Sean. And then if you miss it, you just lose all that time. And with no cautions to catch back up, you're pretty much done. So, yeah, I think someone hit the tire or the barriers there. That's an easy thing to do. As silly as it might look, it's very easy to do. So, weird transition off the apron and having to go to the slowest pit speed that we have at all the tracks around.
Well, you're making it look easy. Now, looking forward to next week. It's the last round of the round of 14. We're going to cut it down to the round of 8. Coming home second here tonight gives you a little bit of a points cushion headed into next week. How are you and your team out there at California, not only but with the Cup car?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to talk with my team here this week and see what we want to do. I think we're in a good points position to advance without needing to win, but at the same time, it's the Cup configuration, and Auto Club is a pretty wide track, so we'll all be in a pack. We'll be right on top of each other, and if you're not careful, you can get caught up in a big one. So I don't know. I'll have to be real smart next week to make sure that I can get through this round.
Well, it sounds good. Before we let you go, who makes it all possible for you week in and week out here on Monday nights?
I'll keep it short tonight. It's just red light racing. I came to this league a few years ago, and it's so much better than the craziness that is iRacing official sessions. And this has put on fun for me every week for years now. So just thanks to those guys, and thanks to Turn 3 for letting everyone else watch.
There you have it. That's your second race finish here tonight. That's Tim Blum out of Florida. He'll look to advance into the round of 8 next week as we head to the Auto Club Speedway with, we'll say super speedway racing in the Cup cars.
Finishing third here tonight, James Heater. Doesn't look like we have established a communication with the driver of the Low Line Racing 18, but James Heater is our third place finisher tonight. He did have himself a very fast number 18 Toyota, so it's going to be a good points night for James Heater. Along having a good night with him, it's going to be James Skelton. Take a look at the top of the timing and scoring tower. You will notice that now the 42 of Max Terriel is highlighted in green here tonight, so he officially advances, and he will not have to worry about going to the Virtual Auto Club Speedway just next week. Al, a lot of interesting strategies here tonight. Let's pull up these wonderful thing here. Post-race thoughts here for you, Al.
First of all, another, as Tim said, classic red light series. These guys put on a heck of a show week in and week out. Probably some of the best drivers, and not only do they do it in Xfinity Series, they're going to turn around and they're going to do it again next week in the Cup Series. We don't want to miss that. And then they run the trucks after that in the round of 8 to kick that part off. These drivers, they are well-rounded disciplines in the top, 4 realms of the upper upsilon of iRacing with the 87 cars. They are retired for this season, but they put on a great show just last week where DJ Anderson won and advanced his way into the playoffs. Unfortunately, Anderson not here tonight, kind of in a hole headed into next week's race at California, in a must-win situation. But tonight, one yellow, green flag pit stops, and, well, Max Terrio showing why he's going to be a threat for the championship once again.
Yeah, Max is one of those drivers that is quick no matter where we go, especially when we show up here with the RB Custom Rig Scrambler Series. It's been a great race here from the Dover International Speedway. We got to thank everybody that works behind the scenes, all the admins here for Red Light Racing, along with the guys over at RB Custom Rigs. They can build you a rig from mild to wild. Maybe you get one of those sim rigs back here behind me in our studio located here in Pennsylvania. You never know what you could get behind the wheel of one of those into the iRacing platform. We also got to thank all the fine folks over at the Checkered Flag Auto Supply located in Ayer, Massachusetts, and also the guys over at Green Forest Tree Supply, and our post-race show, which was brought to us here tonight at Dover by Renaissance Nutrition. Race fans, we really hope you enjoyed the show here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network. For Al Smith, I'm Roger Muth, and for all the guys over at Red Light Racing, we can't wait to see you back. Just actually, more Red Light Racing coming to you Thursday night, when we bring you the Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified Series for round number 2 of the brand new season. Short track racing action here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Always one of the best features that we do have. So until we see you just Thursday night for more Red Light Racing, Al Smith, I'm Roger Muth. We hope you all stay safe, and we will catch you at the races.